All right, all right, all right. Are we live? We might be. It's a possibility. Let's not on. Shut the heck up. All right. All right. We'll get this link over on Facebook. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Fantastic. All right, guys. Happy Tuesday. Wednesday. Oh my gosh. Is it Wednesday? This week is rolling. It's Wednesday. Wow. We are moving quick. Guys, if you're over on YouTube, you should be able to comment the word YouTube or, yeah, YouTube. If you're on Instagram, you should be able to comment the word YouTube. Hop over to YouTube. Um, and tonight we're going to talk about what they talked about on Think Big last night, and that's going to be focus. Wednesday nights are going to be the recap of the Think Big podcast. So if you haven't been catching it, you should definitely tune in. And then tomorrow we will be talking about some DSCR loans, just doing a review. So that will be fun. But a couple of deals in the works, which is really cool. One in Maryland that I am working on tirelessly. I would say that. But it is making progress. Looking at some rates today, and we got pretty close to conventional. The only thing that we're trying to work around is a 5% LTV reduction. It's actually not a short-term rental, which is super interesting. Um, this stemmed from a delayed financing scenario, and that LTV reduction is actually because the property was purchased within the last 6 months. And so this specific lender in their guidelines has an overlay that if it fits that criteria of being purchased in the last 6 months, then it's going to have that penalty. But we are working on getting an exception, and that lender already has a couple of similar exceptions in the work. So we're pretty hopeful that we're going to be able to actually get that approved. One second, move this whiteboard out of the way because that is a little distracting. All right, no more weird light ring effect. Also, I have an empty corner. That's kind of weird. We're gonna have to get something to put there. Um, so yeah, that's how that one deal's going. Also working, still trying to figure out this deal in New York. Um, Hopefully, we can get some funding going so they can finish their rehab and get the other property. So I was also super grateful today that I was passed on a referral. So that was super nice. Can't wait to start working with them and seeing how we will be able to solve that scenario. Everybody, this is Sophie. Hello. Sophie, are you here to talk about what we're going to talk about today? Because that's going to be focus. Getting in one lane and staying in that lane and really dialing in. Right now, I am in the winter arc, as they say, and I am staying locked into the season of no. If it does not align with my current goals, I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to talk about it. I'm on one path, and that's it. So, one of the concepts that we're really talking about, first of all, before we even get to that, attention being your most valuable resource. Make enough noise. Um, Attention being your most valuable resource. Let's imagine that you have a pool of marbles, right? And in this pool of marbles, so that's be better with my slide this over because I really like this. I really like this. I really like the way this was broken down last night. Um, so I think this will be super helpful. Um, in terms of my review as well. So what we've got our attention marbles. So that's our attention. This whole circle right here is our attention. And as you can see, from all these little dots inside, that's our attention. We only have so much attention before. Don't worry about all this. We only have so much attention that we can give to certain things before we're absolutely going to run out of marbles. And so, one of the big points that we were talking about was really focusing and making sure that you're not putting your marbles in the wrong place. So, people, coming into real estate, for instance, there's a lot of different ways to make money in real estate. Okay, and some people come in and they say, okay, well, we're going to wholesale, right? And so they start looking into wholesale. And maybe that takes two of your attention marbles, right? So you got two of them sitting over there, and then you're going along on that path for a little bit, and then you start to realize, hey, there's this other cool thing over here that I want to do, right? And so you start looking into that, and that is going to end up pulling more of your attention away. So you have this other item over here, and it's pulling more of those attention marbles, right? And so the thing about that is eventually you're going to have so many of these different things here and here and here that they're just pulling your attention away. And eventually you're going to run out of attention marbles. Um, Now, on top of whatever you might be doing in real estate or whatever you might be doing in life in general, you're still going to have other things that you need to contend with, i.e., your family, your relationships, that sort of thing. Those also cost your attention. So now you're going to have to find a way to pull your attention back from these items over here and put them towards family, put them towards relationships. And eventually you're going to run out of attention marbles. And so that's why we're talking about focus. That's why we've been talking about focus and talking about getting focused and staying in one lane, because eventually you will pull all of your marbles and you will wear yourself thin. Um, and so once that happens, you're going to be split in so many directions that you're not going to be able to do one thing good enough because you have your attention spread. And so if you were to just focus on that one thing, you would get a lot more done in, let's say, 6 months than you would if you were to try 3 different things and also try to do all 3 of those for 6 months. Even though they might not require that much more of your attention, they will still be pulling at your attention. And so you won't have that full amount of focus. So when it comes to focus, typically we're looking at, follow one course until success, right? And we actually came during the Think Big podcast. Marlon was talking about another acronym for focus, and that was, the F being follow one objective. That's sticking to one thing until it works. You need to be committed in the process. You need to not jump off the bandwagon every time you see another shiny object pop into your life. You need to stick to something and roll with it. Because we all have the same 24 hours a day. And if you can't manage that attention, you're not going to be able to manage your time. And so you're going to be wasting a lot of times in the wrong avenues when you should have just been focusing on this one thing. So that is the F for follow one objective. Now the O is ownership of decisions and ownership of your time. When you make a decision, you need to, you got to own it. You need to cut off all other avenues and you need to follow that path until the end. You are not getting distracted by this, that, and the third. You are not letting your attention marbles go here and there. You are keeping them all where they need to be so you can focus on the one thing and you can get it done. The one thing, I know you guys see this One Piece flag behind me. Another show that I like is oh my gosh, I just totally spaced on the name of it. Gosh, I'm really gonna have to. I'm thinking of the group that's in it. Black Clover. I was thinking Black Bulls. So yeah, it's Black Clover. Anyway, one of the things that the Wizard King says to the two main characters is that if you want to be the Wizard King, you have to produce results. We can all sit here and talk about the things that we want to do, the things that we want to accomplish, but at the end of the day, the results are what matters. And when you get focused and you decide to take ownership of your decisions and where you're spending your time, that is going to help you achieve more focus and overall produce more desirable results. Because if you keep inputting if you keep using the same inputs, you're going to keep getting the same outputs. And so that is the O of focus. That is ownership of decisions and time. Now, the C, committing until it's done. You got to commit to the work. You got to cut off all other options and you don't get distracted. If you're working in this one lane, for instance, as you can see, I am a broker. I do DSCR. I'm focused heavily on working with self-employed borrowers, investors, business owners, people who might have a hard time qualifying for more conventional loans that fall within Fannie and Freddie's guidelines. And so if something comes to me, outside of this realm, then I don't want to deal with it because that is pulling my attention elsewhere and it will not allow me to focus on what I need to be focused on to serve my clients to the best of my ability. So with that being said, it's okay to focus on one thing, but not know a lot about other things. I mean, it's a great thing. You can be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Why not be a master of one? That is the C in commit until it's done. And the U is upgrading those skills, upgrading the right skills that are going to get you to where you need to go. Not just the skills that you want to upgrade, upgrading the necessary and needed skills. Even if it's not something you really want to work on, you just have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort to get it done. And that is going to come through repetition, and just staying focused. Now, that is the U for upgrading that skill tree, earning those required skills. And then, of course, the S brings us to simplify. Less equals more. Focusing on less is going to produce more results. Focusing on one thing is going to give you more results than if you focused on 3 things, if you focused on 2 things. There was a fun little exercise that we used to do, and it was writing simply, I'm good at multitasking. Okay, everybody can do that pretty simply. And then what you do is you go back and you write the same sentence, but you're going to write 2 of the sentences at the same time. So you're going to go, I am good at, and see how long it takes you. It will take you far longer to write those 2 sentences than it would to write that one, because your focus was on writing one, and now your focus is split between doing both of them at the same time, which is obviously going to slow you down. Sure, you'll get to the same place eventually, but how much farther could you have gotten had you just stayed focused on that one lane? So And then we were talking a little bit about more, better, new, which was awesome because we were talking about this in my accountability groups in the morning. Those MMC groups. If you follow me on Instagram, you have likely seen that I'm in there every morning, um, every weekday morning, talking about mindset, talking about our goals, talking about the things that we're working on, the challenges we're facing. And it has just been a great group to be a part of. So shout out to Savon and Kevin for holding me accountable, um, and just being there to really share ideas and work forward as a team. Really cool stuff going on in there. But I digress. We were talking about more, better, new, um, and the fact of how we can all do more um, of what is currently working. At that base level, and once you're increasing your outputs till you're not getting the same return on them, then you can finally move to better, and that's increasing the level of what you're currently doing. And so the thing about starting something new is you're going to suck at it no matter what you do. If you start something new, you are most likely going to suck at it until you learn the required skills to actually get better. And then once you actually go through that period and you learn those skills, then you are able to upgrade and do it better. So if you have a process that just takes you maybe an hour, maybe after X amount of time, you have finally figured out a way where you can cut an hour down into 45 minutes, 45 minutes down to 30 minutes, and so on and so forth. You make the process better. But first, if you want to make the process better, you have to identify the potholes that are going to be in the road. And so you need to do more until you find out what those potholes are. And then you can finally start doing it better. And so you just go back and forth with more and better. You do it more and then you do it better. And you do it more and then you do it better. And when you finally get at the point where more and better just aren't working anymore, you can finally try something new. And that has been a concept that we have been frequently talking about, frequently reminding ourselves of, um, because it is just so crucial to stay on track and not get focused by or not get unfocused by all these different shiny objects that tend to pop into our lives. So as I was saying a little bit at the beginning of this is going to be a season of no for me. If it is not aligning with my goals, it is not aligning with my current path. Um, Sorry, not sorry. Um, no fear of missing out here. So every avenue takes more attention, and then you have the focus of balancing life. And so really, it just becomes this weird balancing act where if you don't keep your attention straight, you don't keep your focus straight, you're just going to be all over the place, and you might not produce the results that you want to produce. So, and then another interesting concept they talked about last night was two pretty simple rules actually. It was 101 and 102. Rule 101 is it will cost more than you think. It will always cost more than you think. And 102, which is the rule that it probably took me a while to really get a grasp on, and is that it will take longer than you think. If you're switching lanes constantly, hopping over to the new next best thing, it's going to take you a lot of time because you're in this lane and you're going up and you're going up. Oh, and then you see this thing over here, and now you're in this lane and you're going up and you're going up. But you don't keep the results that you had while you were over there. You're starting over, and so you're working on new results. And then you hop off the train and you see something cool over here, and now you got to start again. And so that is what happens when you focus on too many different things at a time. But even when you focus on one thing, the results, you just have to work. You just have to, put in the work, build the skills, and just expect it to take long. All good things take a long time. Um, and I am certainly glad that a lot of this is difficult, and a lot of people aren't going to want to go through this path because then everybody would be doing it. And so I'm grateful to be here where I am now. I'm grateful to have gone through what I have experienced over these past couple of years. And I am choosing a path and making a choice, and I am sticking to it for 2025. We have some big goals set, and I'm going to be back in this choice, fully committing. There's no holds barred on this. I will be in the same lane for a year. If it doesn't work, I'll stick in it for another year. I'll do it till it works. Do it till it breaks. Because that's the key to success. You got to keep going till it fails. One of my favorite quotes: "The master tries more than the novice fails." And interestingly enough, it took me a while to understand that one as well. Um, but now I see that the master is willing to go out and try all these different things and put themselves out there and do all these hard things, while the novice, you know, is just stuck at that first phase, trying to get over that first hurdle, which can be really scary at times. Um, and then you fail and you get discouraged. But the master knows that that failure is a prerequisite for success. And so no matter what you do, you just got to keep pushing forward. That being said, we are on day 4, I believe, of 75 hard. I'm not sure where my journal is, so I can double check. We're on day 4 of 75 hard. We will be moving to day 5. And I'm making a public proclamation that we're going to get back into running, because it really just fits better with my schedule. It's a lot easier now. I don't want to push off my morning routine because I kind of have to swap some things around. But I definitely feel like working with my meditations in the evenings, doing my running in the morning, it's just going to be a lot better in terms of saving time, potentially. So we'll see how that works out. But I really would like to start running again. And so the best way to do it is just get out there and tackle it. So I don't know how far we'll go in the morning. My mind, I'm aiming for 4 miles. 4 miles in the freezing cold. I don't want to do it. But we're going to do it anyway. And so, that being said, that is kind of it for me tonight. I've got some other things to work on. I'm working on putting together a few guides. If you are watching this in the future, or you're tuning in now, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram. You can scan this cute little QR code right here. It goes to Instagram, or you can shoot me a message. Go to my Instagram, find my link tree, which is in the bio. You can find my contact information in there. Yeah, if you want access to that, let me know. I'll get you one of those guides. I'm putting together 2 guides on DSCRs and a guide for the Morby method, because that seems to be becoming extremely popular. I've been getting a lot of requests for it, for for Morby method DSCRs in general. So I have one lender that I'm currently working on with that. Potentially another lender that I saw in our system, but I couldn't find any data on it, so I'm gonna have to do some digging on them. But yeah, we're gonna get rocking and rolling on those, and we're gonna do some more creative transactions, and we're gonna make 2025 a great freaking year. So we got a lot of things in the works, but yeah. Join me back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. and we'll be talking about some DSCR loans. They are perfect loans for investors that are looking to get started or acquire their next property. You can do both. So, that being said, I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to secure my focus once more, and we're going to start rocking and rolling. See y'all later.